said, "Hey, sounds like you're in a perfect place. Do you want to jump in the river of the unknown?" And I says, I really need a push. I need a kick in the butt to get me to jump in because I'm standing on the edge. I'm staring at it. I am scared to death.
Well, first of all, I do want to thank you so, so much for doing this with me.
My absolute pleasure. Um, I'm
Awesome.
glad I could help in any way I can.
Uh, yeah. So, to start this interview, if you don't mind me asking, how did you find the Freedom Project and how did you come to do the Beyond Limits course?
So this was probably about a little over a year ago, and I was going through some turmoil in my life, a lot of turmoil actually, and I'd already been doing the Dr. Joe work, um, reaching out to other mentors and things, trying to find answers to get through it. So I was sitting in a restaurant by myself, ordering food. I looked at my phone. I saw a post from Scott. He went through his story, and he it just floored me. I'm in the restaurant by myself, bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
I believe actually when the house was about ready to go on the market, Scott reached out to me, and this was probably 3 or 4 months later, and I might have prompted that and says, "Hey, what's this Beyond Limits thing all about anyway?" And then he reached out to me, and we had a conversation. I remember I was sitting on my deck outside my house, and kind of looking around, going, "Yeah, I still have more stuff to get rid of. I still need to put the thing on the market, all this stuff." And he just said, "Hey, sounds like you're in a perfect place. Do you want to jump in the river of the unknown?" And I says, I really need a push. I need a kick in the butt to get me to jump in because I'm standing on the edge. I'm staring at it. I am scared to death.
Hmm.
And so with that, I uh, I decided to join and go through this process, ride the roller coaster, as you might say.
Yeah.
And because I had a real good, strong feeling that the programs that I was operating under, and I also had a very good intuition that I was operating under programs I didn't even know were there. I couldn't even identify them. I think to myself, what's wrong? Why can't I be happy? And I didn't even know why. I couldn't answer the question.
Yeah.
So, I even thought about going to a therapist or this or that, anything, hypnotherapist, regression,
Yeah.
um, anything, just to try to figure out and peel away the layers of the onion.
Yeah.
And but like I say, I was in the process of stripping away everything that was familiar to me, and for some reason, innately, I knew that that was the right thing to do. And I know a lot of people don't really have that option.
Yeah.
It just kind of came at the perfect time in my life where my daughter was going to college. Um, uh, and I had nobody else really that I needed to worry about or take care of but myself. So that's when I jumped in, and I was very, after the call with Scott and my commitment to join the group, I was just full of anxiety and fear. It's like, what have I just done? I spent money. I don't even have a job.
Yeah.
What the heck am I doing? Oh, it is uncomfortable. It's just fucking uncomfortable.
It is.
But this is a lot more personable. It's kind of an action plan, so to speak, not just a formula. And nothing against Dr. Joe teachings and whatnot. They're beautiful.
Right.
And along with many other teachings that I've taken part of. So this was the kick in the butt that I needed.
Yeah.
And I walked through the fear of making the commitment to join the group. And then once I got into it, it just got more fearful.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I felt like I wasn't working hard enough, and I was kind of Roger was beating Kevin up, and it's like, hey, trying to beat Kevin up, and Kevin's like saying, hey, just chill,
Yeah.
just go through it, do the process, go through it at your pace, and which after the 8 weeks, it's just like, and a couple of the freedom activation statements with Simon. I addressed things that I never thought I'd have the courage to ever look at ever in my life.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
so that's how I found them.
That's how you found us. Well, as you know, the Freedom Project contains 3 modalities, and Scott being the mind coach, M being the breathwork, and Simon being the freedom activation. What are your thoughts on the 3 modalities in like this one group in this community? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll start with Scott. And Scott, to me, I know everybody might think a little differently, but to me, Scott he's like the get her done. Come on, let's go. What are you waiting for? He's kind of my hammer, and
Yeah.
and he's just like he's from a construction background. I'm from a construction background, so I don't know. I just relate to that, and I'm just like, all right, Scott, I'm not gonna let you down, even though I'm doing it for me, right? But
Yeah.
but for me, he's a driver. He's a driver for me. He just his words and his thoughts really push me to motivate me to do. M's breath work. I've I've done some other types of breath work, but nothing like this. And I was just blown away by how that could actually affect me and move that energy up and out. Just, I have no words for it. I mean,
Yeah.
she's so loving and sweet and kind, and
Yeah.
it just helps push all that out.
Yeah.
She's just, I don't know if I'm putting this into words properly, but
No, you said it best. She had so much compassion for what she does that her love just weeps out of her when she's directing you to the breathing and things like that. And but yeah, no, that's perfect.
it's I never realized that how much of an effect that would have on me.
Yeah.
It's just like a perfect combination. with everything else. And never thought my body would move that way or experience the way I do. But I tell you what, I mean, boy, if you find yourself falling in that rut again and you don't feel like doing it, and she's mentioned this many times, just push yourself to do it. Just do it. And it's like 10 times better. It's just like, and it just brings you right back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's really powerful. I love it.
Simon, boy. Oh boy. I shared things with him. Sorry. That I've never done with anybody ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can't believe the impact. The freedom activation statement and how Simon is so sensitive and non-judging, and just completely, I was able to let go completely and do the symbolic breaking of those connections that have plagued me for so many years. And some of them I didn't even know they were there. And I'll be the first one to say that I'll be doing more of those. But like I say, I just absolutely, emotion. I felt so light and so much better and so good when I got done with those freedom activation statements with Simon. I was just blown away. Mm-hmm. I never thought it was possible. Nothing but love for that man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I wish I could just fly to London and give him a big fat hug.
Right?
And probably a kiss too. Just because.
Oh my God.
COVID,
yeah.
no COVID.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I just the three of them together is
quite a powerful combination.
Yeah.
And like I say, you could talk to probably 20 different people and you'll get 20 different answers on that question, but that's the way I saw it with me. And boy, the other thing, Scott, he does have that logic about, this, you create your own reality, and this is why, and all of what he says has always resonated with me very strongly. But like I say, it's just between the three of them, they seem to address what needs to be addressed as a team, and I tell you, I just kind of a bit of a loss for words, but
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to describe because they're all amazing, and where I felt safe with all three of them.
Yes.
You agree?
I do agree. I felt safe with all of them. Safe to be ultimately wide open and vulnerable,
Yeah.
um, which I don't think I've been with anybody in my life
Mm-hmm.
in that
Right.
way. There's, it just it just never happened, and it was so liberating to be that way. And now I find myself living that way,
Yeah.
to where I can talk with people from the heart, and you know what, they a lot of they tend to respond.
Yeah.
It's people innately know, and I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
I agree. Yeah. Ah, so I have another one. What is the difference do you see yourself today compared to when you first started the course?
The difference I see with myself is that I'm not afraid. Well, let's retract that. I still fear things, but I have a lot more confidence to walk through that fear, where I'm not just all spun up and anxious. It's I'm a lot more trusting of myself to be able to push through that fear and push those boundaries that I've essentially constructed myself. Um, and so my confidence level is through the roof compared to what it was before.
Mhm.
Um, I was, when I started, I was living day to day with either depression, anxiety, and fear. But there was no joy in my life at that point. Not that I haven't experienced joy in my life, I have, but it was all just coming to a head in my life, and it just at this pinnacle, and I felt like I was going to bust open, and I didn't know what that was going to look like. It was not going to be good, and now I have the tools, more tools in my toolbox. Again,
Uh,
I'm a construction worker, right? So I use that analogy a lot. I have more tools in my toolbox to work through these things and to have the confidence to be able to push forward and to push past my boundaries of being uncomfortable, or through that made up construct of fear that doesn't even really exist, that we've only made up in our minds. And now I can push past that. So again, my confidence level is through the roof, and I'm just like, wow, it's just a playground out here. This is cool. What can I make next? And don't get me wrong, I still have work to do,
yeah.
and it's a beautiful thing. It's beyond limits course, with the activation statements and the support from everybody, and the ability to be ultimately vulnerable has just made a huge difference for me. Um, I am not this. I'm not Roger in a sense anymore. No, I'm not that person. It doesn't exist um, in my day-to-day life anymore. Um, I am now Kevin,
Yeah.
and like I've mentioned before on some of the calls, maybe I believe that I'm helping Roger now, and I'm bringing Roger up to the higher frequency and higher vibration, and so I'm embracing Roger and bringing him back into the game. So Kevin's helping Roger out now,
Yeah.
whereas before there was no Kevin,
Right. Right.
and it was just Roger trying to figure it out, and very badly so.
So
reaching.
would you say that Kevin and Roger are starting to become best friends?
Yes,
Yes.
Kevin, Kevin, and Kevin has helped Roger in forgiving himself for being, or making it clear that there is no real reason to need to forgive at all. That all along you were this divine creation,
Yes.
um, and that Roger just got in the way. Not because he tried to, he just didn't know any better. He was
Right.
running on the hamster wheel and trying to get out, trying to find a door. And so with the invention or the persona of Kevin, which I think is brilliant, part of the Beyond Limits, um, Kevin is now showing Roger where the door is, and they're coming together as one again. And that is a progression that I had no idea was coming, but it's just been weighing. It's been part of me, and I see it coming. I feel that here, not here. I feel
Right. Yeah.
it. So, and this is where Kevin operates.
Yeah.
This is where I live my life most of the time. Roger was trying to figure it out up here in the mind, in the analytical
Yeah.
mind, and you don't figure anything out there. It's all got to come from the heart, and so that's a big deal
Yeah.
for me.
And I was going to ask you if selling your house and then going to Arizona with your first stop
Yes,
and joining this Beyond Limits, wouldn't you say that was the beginning of all of it? Like the beginning of the rest of your life?
yes.
Yeah.
Um, like I mentioned before, I knew I had to completely change my world. So I was already in the process before I joined, but
Right.
and then it's just the stars aligned again.
Yeah.
And my sister goes, "Hey, I got a place in Arizona. I just bought it, and if you want, you can just stay there." And it just so happens, like a week or so before that, I joined the Beyond Limits group. And it's like, oh, this is perfect. I got a place I can be quiet and I can just do my studies. I can work on this stuff. And it's just funny when you open up, everything just comes to you and just opens up for you. And
Yeah.
instead of getting in the way of it.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that was the beginning. And I did a lot of the studies for the Beyond Limits in that place in Arizona. Didn't do a lot of hiking because I wanted to do the work and, religiously doing the breath work and doing meditations but mainly just writing stuff down. What's going on in my head? What is Roger thinking? What's Kevin thinking? What's my new fishbowl look like? I never thought about doing any of that stuff
Oh,
before.
I know. I know.
And
Yeah.
and here I am. Of course, I wrote it out about 6 times on the fishbowl thing because I've had to get it down. No, this is my real fishbowl. This is how much shit is in my fishbowl right now.
Yeah.
No, it took me like 6 times to get to the point where it's like, all right, be honest. Your fishbowl sucks. It stinks. It's got shit. You can't even see the fish.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
They were dying. And then, so to get to that level of honesty with myself, it took a lot of energy to do that, but energy well spent. And it just, when I got to that point, I started creating my new fishbowl. And I had to write that several times because the old thoughts and beliefs and the old programs were trying to augment my future.
Mm.
They kept, it's like, why did I put that down? It's like, all right, start over. That's not the way it's going down here anymore. So, I kind of had to pull up my bootstraps and go, okay, this is the life I'm going to live. And actually, I don't have it right here, but I still have that fishbowl, and that's, and I am living most of it now.
What area do you notice that the biggest impact in your life? What's the one area do you?
I I alluded to this before in the discussion, but I am living my truth more than I ever have in my life. I'm not putting a lot of energy into creating a facade, a false happy person, when inside I was not.
Can see that.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to face fear. And I am a much, my heart is in the driver's seat now, not my mind, the program, or whatever. This is now the slave.
Mm.
This is the driver. This
Yeah.
is what you control. And that's the best way I can sum up the big differences.
I love that. I love that.
So I just want to say that everybody that's thinking about doing this, just find the courage to face yourself and to step into that unknown. Em and Scott and Simon will, and the group, can't forget the tribe, man, I tell you. So all of that will help you pass through that door. Open that door and walk through the one that you're always afraid to do, or that you can't even see. And that's a lot of the times the case. Just walk through and realize that there's going to be a major amount of fear and anxiety at times when that roller coaster goes over the top and drops to the bottom. But laugh, love it, enjoy it, embrace yourself, cry, open your heart, and you'll find that there's a wonderful person inside that's just wanting to get out and that just doesn't know how. So.
Yeah, I'm going to end that right there. Thank you so much.